So now that we went through the kind of basic controls like the collar sleeve, the double sleeve, the De La Riva holding the ankle, now you guys have some positions that if you get to, you know what to do. It's really hard to develop grip fighting in the beginning because if you don't have a position that you know what to do if you get to it, then there's really no goal for you to try to get to. But now that we have positions like that, you have a goal, right? So like if the match starts, it's hard to just attack out of nowhere. You have to establish some kind of an initial control. So for example, if I was to get this sleeve and fall back to a lasso, now I can grab his collar, and then if you have gone through this series, now you kind of understand things you can do here. I could go for this De La Riva hook, try to take him backwards, I could open, start attacking the triangle or omoplata. All these different things will start building off this. Or maybe I'm here and he's standing kind of close and I grab the ankle and now I can start building from here, right? So there's a lot of different ways to initially entangle the guy. What we're gonna focus on in this series is gonna be based off of the guards that I showed, right? So we did the De La Riva, like controlling the ankle. We did the sleeve control, which turns into collar sleeve or double sleeve, and kind of interconnecting all of those. But of course, there's other ways to tie the guy up. I could tie him up in like a reverse De La Riva, for example. Like if he was here, I could go here like this. I could go to a single leg. I could do like lapel stuff, but that's not the focus of this grip fighting instructional. The focus of this is how do we go from no grips to getting to one of those base controls we showed in the beginning of the series so that you have a kind of a platform to build off. Another important point here is understanding the balance between guard retention and grip fighting. Both guard retention and grip fighting kind of happen at the same time. So I kind of define guard retention as basically your ability when the guy starts to pass, of stopping him and being able to get back to the center, right? But if I get back to the center and I freeze, ultimately he's just going to try to pass again. So then I'll have to do some kind of defense again, and then it's just going to keep repeating. And I stay in guard retention forever. So guard retention doesn't really fully end until I actually tie him up in some kind of a control, like a lasso, right? Or collar sleeve now, right? Or I get an ankle in the sleeve or in the collar. Now I'm in another, and now I've started that other system, right? So it's like separate games. So the grip fight battle ends when I fully lock him in a position that I now have like a game plan from, okay? Now the tricky part is that you have to kind of balance out the grip fighting and the guard retention, because sometimes if you grip fight too long and you don't switch to defending the pass, then you get passed, right? So what that might look like is like, if I'm here and then I'm holding these sleeves trying to get some kind of control and then I've like lost it, if I keep holding these, it's stopping me from letting go and doing proper guard retention mechanics, which again, we'll go into more in depth in the guard retention section. But it stops me from getting, back to defense. So you have to find this balance of, okay, I'm trying to tie him up, I messed up, defend, and then now try to re-tie up and lock him up, right? So if you go for the grip too long, you get in trouble. So you have to find that balance. And then also, if I never go for the grip, I may block the pass, but then I'm never going to attack, right? So you're going to find a lot of crossover in this series. I'll talk quite a bit about guard retention during this grip fight series, and also in the guard retention series, I'll talk quite a bit about grip fighting. So there'll be a bit of crossover in both of the series. Okay, so we're going to start the grip fighting from sitting up. So he's going to be standing, and we're going to start building from here. After we build some basic series for setting up your positions from here, then we'll start dealing with what to do when you're on your back and the guy's trying to pass. That's a big part of grip fighting as well. So when we start here, first thing I always want to think about, have your hands up, is be very careful about your distance management, okay? So I can either be with my hand on the floor and one hand up, or I can be kind of centered like this. I really recommend for people lower level to have the hand on the floor, and that it doesn't even mean it's less effective. Honestly, I prefer having my hand on the floor too. Being centered like this is a bit more complicated because I'm less mobile. I can't move back and forth quick. So when I have my hand on the floor, I can always gauge the distance. So if I'm here, back up just a little bit, right? If I'm here and he starts to get near me, I can back up a little bit. I can kind of keep separating. The danger when you're sitting up is that if he gets really close and I'm not on my back, it just takes one quick step this way to get around, and now I'll grab my back or something. Right now I'm starting to get kind of in trouble, and it's hard to get my legs back in position. So the penalty for a mistake when you're sitting up is way faster, right? When I'm on my back and he starts trying to run around, it's just way quicker for me to try to keep him in front of me. But when you're sitting up, your legs are out of play. So if he fakes this way once and then goes back the other way and I get out of position, it's really hard to recover this, okay? So the way I want to think about my grip fighting when I'm sitting up is almost like boxing. It's like I'm throwing a jab. So I know when he's far away, if he just does some sudden movement that like I didn't expect and he goes this way and then goes back this way or something, here it's really easy to get my feet up and follow him the further away he is. But the closer he is, then the more when I make a mistake and he gets here, it's really hard to recover this, right? So in this case, the first series we're going to build off is trying to get some kind of like an initial sleeve control, right? So what that'll look like is like we'll do, if he's leading with his right leg, usually he'll have this hand forward, right? So you have to pay attention. Everything I show could be mirrored on either side. If he's leading with his left leg, I could go here. If he's leading with the right leg, I could go here. And I'll give you guys options, multiple options to play with, and you can kind of build your own game from there on how you want to grip fight. Okay, so we're just gonna start with, I have my right hand on the floor, and he's like this. So I'm gonna look for this sleeve, right? Now again, if he steps close to me, I don't want to stay here. I want to back up, right? I want to kind of like almost be like jabbing. So I'm trying to get a grip from a distance because it makes it safer for me to fall to my back to establish my position without too much risk of him jumping around. Okay, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to get the sleeve. And now the first thing I want to do is I'm going to go to my elbow, my right elbow here. I'm going to go to my elbow and I want to lift my feet up first. A lot of people make the mistake of grabbing a sleeve or whatever and they fall back this way, but now I'm opening up that pass. And we'll go more in depth on this on the guard retention of how I want to keep my elbow and knee tight to protect him. For him to pass the guard, he's got to get inside this elbow knee space, right? So I'm always trying to keep that protected. So when I fall back here with my feet down, I'm like opening that space and giving him a huge gap. What I want to do instead is when I'm here, I go to my elbow first and I lift my feet up first. This keeps my knees tight and gives him no room to jump around that elbow knee space. So I would go here, now I fall back, and now I'm tight here, right? And once I go here, again, it's just like before. Now if he grabs here, I could grab the sleeve. Now we have lasso spider. I could break past the body, and that's double sleeve leg past body. I could go collar sleeve and start playing all of that series. If I want double sleeve leg past body, I could go here, grab the ankle, and now we're in De La Riva, and everything starts interconnecting, okay? So if I'm here like this, see he's here, he's kind of coming close, I back up, elbow, feet up first. Fall back here. Right now I start looking for collar sleeve, De La Riva hook, double sleeve, can start building from here. Okay, so the main ideas in this one is just focus on keeping that distance, backing up a lot. Don't stay stationary with the guy coming at you. Keep backing up, baiting, trying to get that sleeve, get your feet up or elbow down, get your feet up, fall back and lasso, and then you can start building whichever series you want from there. Okay, so let's look at another style of sleeve control that you can fall back into. So go up. So this time, we're gonna be here, right? And so now he's leading with his right leg, right? So he's here. So if I get this sleeve, I can fall back and lasso, but sometimes I may end up getting this sleeve, right? So I try to get this, he's hiding. However, I get one sleeve. Usually guys won't give you both sleeves at the same time, but usually you can get one sleeve. It may even be he grabs my lapel or something and I break the grip and now I have one sleeve, right? So I'm gonna have one sleeve. So now in this case, when he's leading with this right leg and I have the sleeve of the side of the leg that's back. So in this case, if he's right leg leading, it's his left leg that's back. What I'm gonna do is when I fall, I'm just gonna lift my foot and go leg past body, right? And I just go here. This basically turns into collar sleeve with the foot on the hip like we worked before. I can have my foot on the hip here. I can kind of go past the body. But here it's like I don't have to lasso when I fall back because it's on the far side. So he can't push this leg down, so keep going this way. He can't go this way, so I'm good, right? So that's another way of falling back. If I was here and like he pushed this leg down and starts passing this side, then I would lasso. And now we're starting to play collar sleeve on the near side, okay? But again, so the first move from the previous video was we get this sleeve, feet up, fall back to the lasso. Now from here I can go collar sleeve, double sleeve. In this case, we're here and I get the far sleeve, right? And what I want to do is just get this foot up because I know once I get this leg up, he can't pass this way because he can't push the leg down, right? So I go here, I get this foot up and I want this foot to aim towards the bicep. I just want to get this left leg up quick too, right? So I go here. One of the benefits of this, most people like to pass to their left. That's like the most common thing. People do both, people lead with both legs, but a large majority of people will right leg lead and pass to their left, which is your right. So when I have this sleeve up like this, it's very hard for the guy to go this way. He can't push this leg down. So it forces most people to pass to their bad side, right? So we go here, and again from here, I could go foot on the hip, start centering up, and now I'm doing the same collar sleeve stuff. I could go to the ankle, start playing sit-up guard, and all these other transitions start to open, okay? So again, if you guys spend a lot of time specific sparring in those previous positions, in the collar sleeve, in the double sleeve, in the De La Riva with the sleeve, the De La Riva with the collar, and you get really good at those, you start understanding how each of those systems work in themselves. Then when you start entering this grip fighting phase of the game, it becomes very easy to see how you can start interconnecting things, right? So again, that's why in the beginning of the series I talked about jiu-jitsu being this combination of multiple separate mini positions rather than looking for these principles that connect everything together. If you understand each of the micro positions, all this stuff is going to start naturally connecting together for you. Now we're going to do the same start as we did on the previous one. I'm going to go for the lapel, but one of the most common responses, as soon as you grab the guy's lapel, he's going to go to break your grip like this, go to break it, right? And he's going to break the grip here. Now, I know that's a super common response. So when I grab the lapel a lot of times, as soon as I see his hands go up for that, I'm going to grab this sleeve. Now he's going to break the grip, boom, he breaks it, but now I got the sleeve. Once I got the sleeve, I want to turn my palm up, just like you do in like that lasso. I want to turn my palm up, makes it harder for him to loop. I'm here, right? So he just broke this, I got this, and now I lift my feet up quick and go here and fall back, right? No, normally I'm kind of on my side and I go on my elbow when I go up. In this case, because I had this left hand on the floor with the collar here and he breaks, I'm going to be kind of on my side. I'm just going to lift my feet up fast. If you want, you could turn all the way back here, but you can do it if you can lift your feet up, right? So I just lift my feet up, fall back to the lasso. Now I'm back again in collar sleeve, building from here, double sleeve, and all this stuff starts to open, right? So we're here, right? So I'm going for the sleeves. He's making it difficult with the sleeves. Can't get that. So I go here, he goes to break. I catch the sleeve here. Once I get the sleeve, I can either go feet up or I can back up, go here, fall back, double sleeve, leg past body. And now we're starting to transition and build back into our open guard series that we learned before. All right, guys, so let's look at another series with a collar, but this time we're gonna go for an attack. So before I show grabbing this collar, and you can do it with either collar, but if we go to this collar, it's easier for falling back and getting grips. When I go to the cross collar, it's more aggressive for directly attacking. So the thing with grip fighting, again, if you break everything down into its own separate mini game, right? The mini game of grip fighting is just me trying to establish a guard, and once I get that aspect of the game is over, then it's about how good am I in the guard that I establish. So if I get to collar sleeve, then it's about how good am I at collar sleeve. It's no longer a grip fight issue, right? And then his job is to try to pass me before I establish a guard on him. So that's the battle going on. So when I'm here, I can either win this grip fight battle by either establishing a guard I want to play, like if I establish collar sleeve or De La Riva and I'm good at it, that's a win for me. But also in this grip fight battle, I can establish a guard or I can outright attack him as well, right? So that's one of the benefits with this cross collar grip is not only, so if he goes to break this, I can go back to the previous one and use this to set up a grip, but also with this cross collar grip, I can attack directly, okay? So there's a few attacks we can do with this. So we're gonna start off with just a basic collar drag, okay? So the way I'm gonna do the collar drag here is, there's a couple different methods for this, but I'm gonna show what I think is the most simple and efficient one, is I wanna kind of pull myself forward and I want you to imagine it like a single leg takedown. So I'm actually gonna clip his foot with my right foot when I actually do it, but right now I'm gonna show with my right leg in between. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shoot my right leg in between and I pull forward and I wanna get really tight on this single leg here. Once I get this single leg, I can kind of push the collar into his neck, drive his body weight that way, and it's really easy to grab this single leg push, come up, and now I'm coming up into a single leg takedown. So I'm here, right? So try to imagine, a lot of people do this thing when they do a collar drag where they try to clip the foot and they fall way back, so it's like this. And sometimes you can knock the guy over with that, and that's great. But what I really want is to get in tight on that single leg. So even if I didn't clip the foot, if I just imagine I'm pulling him here and I'm gonna kind of land forward like this in the single leg, really close, right? I wanna land right up here, like turn this way a little bit, sorry. Yeah. Right, I wanna land like right up here with my legs forward, kind of like when we did the sit-up guard, like really driving into that leg so I can come up, right? So the way that'll actually look, I'll do the right leg in between first, is I would be here like this, is I would pull here and I use my head like a ram into his rib cage and now I can drive up, okay? So now the extra factor here to make it even better is clipping out his ankle. So let's go on the other side. So whenever I do this pull, he's gonna do that little step forward. So if I add into this move, just trying to clip this, even if I miss it, I can often still get the collar drag. But I just wanna try to clip this because often it'll trip him and he'll fall. So sometimes you'll get the single leg, sometimes guys will just face plant. So it just kind of depends on how they respond. Usually I aim for the foot. You could aim for the knee. You just wanna block this leg from going forward in some kind, pull the collar across, and try to, again, I wanna land forward in the position like this. I don't wanna fall way back, right? So I would be here like this, here, and I pull in there, drive and come up, right? Another big thing with this move is I wanna feel kind of the tension, right? So if he's backing up a little bit, back up, yeah, like this. See here, it's a little bit easier to feel that and drive up in, right? Most of the time when you're fighting, the guy's not just gonna be like kind of dead, right, weight. He's gonna be moving a bit, like exactly like this, right? So I'm moving here, right? And then now, you know, I'm moving this way. I feel him start to go that way a little bit. I clip and see how forward I am. So there he like landed way out. It's perfect, right? Easy to come up. And you'll get those a lot. Those are the best when you really like almost face plant them. But sometimes like the guy kind of is ready for it. He catches his balance and then he's more upright, right? And then that's where I have to more drive into the single leg, come up on top. And then again, if you just drive this collar, a lot of times you can put him down there. I can even do this sometimes if I'm up here and he grabs this pant leg. In fact, sometimes it's even stronger because when he grabs this pant leg, now he doesn't have that hand as a post. So this is a bit more advanced, but like if I'm here like this, I'm just gonna, again, leave this in the air, and as he holds this, I'm gonna try to block this leg from stepping, and that makes him face plant a bit harder. So that's very common when the guy has that pant leg, okay? Right, so the match starts, maybe I'm looking for the sleeve or something, he won't give me the sleeve, I go here, boom, right there, drive, and come up. All right, guys, so now let's look at the next step in the series, which is the ankle pick. So now, we get this collar drag, and then the guy, sometimes he'll start to anticipate that, that pull, right? So they kind of back up a bit here, yeah, and I get this tension, right? So when I feel this tension where like his weight, his butt is kind of back, and you can feel like, I see I'm leaning back, there's like a counter pull against this, that's the perfect time to do this, okay? So when I feel that here, what I wanna do is I need to come up just with my legs, right? You can't come up by pulling, right? Because then what I wanna do is when I do this, I wanna push him. And then that's gonna make this ankle light and easy to grab, okay? If you pull to come up, it's hard to switch to the push and all of his weight's forward. So I actually want his weight back. So when I'm pulling here and I feel that counter tension, that's when I know I can get the ankle pick. But what I gotta do is I can't pull to come up. I wanna push to come up. So you gotta learn, see how he started to fall back there as soon as I let go? That's exactly what you want, right? So look, I gotta learn to come up just with my legs, like this, right? If you're pulling to come up, you won't be able to come up. I wanna come up like this first. You see what I mean? Forward, like that. So now when I feel that tension back, what I do is I push like this. And what that'll do is that'll make his ankle really light and I can pick the ankle. Sometimes you'll get him to fall immediately, sometimes you'll have to come up on the ankle pick. So I'm here, he's worried about that collar drag, right? And look, right here, push. And now I got the ankle. I can stand up with the ankle, pull him around, I can clip the foot out and start putting him down. So again, we're here, I'm looking for a sleeve, he's hiding the sleeve, I go collar, start to threaten the collar drag, right? I feel this weight here, now I'm just gonna push there. Come up, couple different ways you can finish this. You can just kind of circle this way and pull the collar and just try to clip this from stepping. It's a very easy way to go for it. Another one, when I have here, I can pull in this way, is you can step in and just do a classic Ouchigari there. Okay, so one more time, we're here. Maybe I'm looking for a sleeve, go collar here, push, ankle pick, clip out, and now I'm starting to pass from here. All right guys, so now let's look at the collar control jumping to De La Riva. What's gonna happen here now is I have this collar, same exact grip. I can go for the ankle pick, I can go for the collar drag. So another thing I can do is what I'm gonna do is I lift my left foot out high here, and I'm gonna jump and lift my right leg high. And this is gonna help me jump to De La Riva. So I just go here and I catch this leg. Okay, when I do this, usually I have to kind of catch the calf just because of the body angling of where I'm at. But I wanna have this right leg up because if I leave it low, he's gonna start with this leg already trapped, which makes it a bit harder. So I wanna land here, right? And once I get in here, now I can work my way back to the ankle or the pant control. And now we're going back into this ankle control series. So now we're using this to set up the ankle control, right? Again, the objective when we're grip fighting is either immediately sweep or submit, which you can do, like with the ankle pick, collar drag. Sometimes you can jump for a triangle, or tie him up in a guard that we know how to play, right? And then now we understand like what phase of the game we're in all the time, right? So we're here, so I'm looking to get some initial control. Okay, I get the collar, and then now what I do is I'm just gonna go left leg up, and then I jump my hip up, and I wanna lift both feet up at the same time. So it's here, and I kind of hop to the side. As soon as I go in the air, I lift my right leg. So I get the lift with the right foot on the floor and the left hand on the floor. That gets the lift, right? As I get the lift, the right leg will come up right after, like that. I catch the leg, now I'm in. I could grab here, break, come back to the ankle, and now look, we're already in an attacking position with the sleeve, the ankle, pushing the hip out, sit up guard, De La Riva X, all these things start to open, right? The key to attacking in jiu-jitsu is learning to set your grips up, right? You can't attack if you're not in a guard that you can play, right? So anytime you feel kind of confused what's going on, it's usually that you just don't know what phase of the game you're in, right? If you're in collar sleeve, then reference all the collar sleeve content, right? If you don't have a grip, then you're trying to get to a grip that you know. All right, so let's do it one more time from a different angle. So go over here. All right. So we're here, again, I'm like this. I could threaten the collar drag, ankle pick. I jump, right foot and left hand on the floor, hop, and I jump up here. And again, I have this leg. See how I already have this kind of side position I talked about before, not being like this? I want to be here. Now here I grab. If he grabs, I get this. If he hides that, no problem. Collar, come back to the ankle or the pants, and now we're back in the same exact series we worked before. All right, we'll do it one more time. Here. Boom. Break here. Push the hip out. Sit up guard. Whatever we want to build from there.